everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to tell you all Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 13 and text number 15, that is Sarvendriya Gunabhasam Sarvendriya Vivarjitam Asaktam Sarvabhruchaiva Nirgunam Gunabhoktracha, which means the super soul is completely detached from everything, though he is the maintainer of all the living entities, and though he is the source of all the senses, he has no material senses, and though he transcends the material nature, at the same time still he is the master of all the modes of material nature. Purport. So here it is said in the above text by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself that though he has senses, but his senses and our senses are never the same. Our senses are contaminated by material nature, but the senses of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like his eyes, ears, tongue, etc., and all the other two senses, just two senses also, they are transcendental and they are never contaminated by material nature like ours. Same goes for the body. And by this text, we can clearly understand that the Lord is not impersonal. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is personal, he has a form, but he is different from us because his form is transcendental, his body is completely transcendental, unlike ours, which is contaminated by material nature. Actually, our soul, which is inside our material body, is also transcendental, but it is covered by the material nature. Hence, to get out of this material nature, we need to propagate Krishna consciousness. So, with the help of the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, we can come out of this material body and we can go to the highest planet, which is Vaikuntha Loka itself. So, that's why propagation of Krishna consciousness is very important. And the next thing said here that he is unattached, though he is the maintainer of all the living entities. Now there are several living entities, uncountable. There are many living entities and we are still discovering them as humans, right? So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not attached to any of them. Like one is more beautiful than the other or one is more talented than the other. No, he has nothing like that. The one who is the devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is just more dear to him. That does not mean that the others are not. Right? So others are also dear to him, but the devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is more dear to him. And finally, about the modes of material nature, we all know that there are three modes of material nature. But he is the source of those material natures. He transcends them. And we are contaminated by those modes of material nature. But he is not. So his form, as I have said earlier, is always very transcendental and can never be contaminated because he is the supreme, right? He is above all of us. He is the Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is even the maintainer and he is the creator of all this. So you can never be contaminated by the three modes of material nature.